Okay, what's going on?
Well, I thought I would go through my Asian cupboard.
I can't even fit that in the frame. That's a lot of stuff.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to have everything, but to make some of the sauces, I just like to have everything on hand. But there's a lot of basic sauces that you can make with just a few simple ones, and as I go through my little stash here, I thought I would just share which ones I have and why I use them, and then you can decide whether or not that is something that you want to add to your Asian pantry. Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll start with the basic soy sauce. There are different types of soy sauce. I like to use this one. By the way, none of this is paid advertising or paid by any brand. These are just the brands I prefer. Mostly because I prefer to buy product that is not made in China. Soy sauce. I like to use this brand and the premium light soy sauce. It's a little bit more expensive than the regular light soy sauce. And also good to have on hand is the dark soy sauce. And it's a little bit more sweet than the light soy. And it adds a lot of like a deep brown color to your whatever you're making. Okay, so those are very basic. You should have at least these 2 bottles at home, if nothing else.
And good soy sauce.
And good soy sauce makes all the difference.
In Flo's opinion.
In my opinion. All right. I also have tamari, and that's for when I'm making Japanese style sauces. Sometimes they ask for tamari, and I think a good substitute is soy sauce. I don't know what the difference is. It's made with soybeans, so it's a soy-based sauce as well. You can always, substitute soy with tamari. I'm gonna go jump over to oyster sauce. I always have oyster sauce available, and I just like the flavor of it. It's very different from soy, so it's not something you can substitute, but it does add saltiness in flavor. And I get the premium one versus the regular oyster sauce. Lots of different types of vinegar. So one that I would suggest that if you would like to have a vinegar at home, I would suggest the rice vinegar to have in your pantry. That one is used in a lot of Asian style cooking. And then the ones that are less used are, well, this red vinegar, I never use it for cooking. I have it because dude likes to dip his dumplings in there. But for dumplings, I prefer this soy sauce, which is why I have this one at home. And
You mean vinegar?
What did I say?
Soy sauce.
Oh, I meant vinegar. But it's dark, like soy sauce. But it's vinegar. It has a very distinct flavor. I use it sometimes in some of my sauces, but because the flavor is really strong, sometimes I just substitute the rice vinegar instead. If you are wanting to get into more Southeast Asian cooking, so like Thai or Vietnamese, then you may want to get a bottle of fish sauce. It also adds saltiness, and it's a very distinct, fishy.
It's a stronger,
flavor.
more pungent
Yeah.
fragrance and stronger taste.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a preference. This just happens to be one I have.
And it's got a cool looking, actually, that's kind of a creepy looking baby on there.
But he likes his fish sauce.
Yeah, it sure does.
Then we get into our cooking wines. This is Shaoxing wine, and it's used in a lot of Chinese cooking. This one, I think, is Japanese. It has no English on there, so I am very thankful that I know a little bit of Chinese writing, and often the Japanese have adopted some of the same characters, which is great. So I know that this is a rice wine because this word is rice and this is wine. This is mirin for Japanese cooking. And mirin is also wine-based, but it's more of a sweet wine, cooking wine. And that's basically it for the liquids. Oh, aside from sesame oil. So with all the sauces here, you can easily make a Korean-based barbecue sauce or a Korean barbecue sauce. I always keep one on hand for those quick marinades I might need to make beef. And so I do keep a jar at home, but it is very easy to make as well if you have all the right ingredients. Sometimes we like to hot pot at home, and when we do that, we make our own little condiment sauce on the side with some of the sauces that I already mentioned. But one very popular one is this, I don't know what it's called. I guess it's like a barbecue sauce, but in Chinese it's sa-cha-jiang. And they come in, this is like the smallest tin, but the biggest tin is like...
It's like a liter.
It's huge.
Yeah, sauce for months.
Yeah. So we don't buy a lot of this because, well, Dude and the children like it. I don't really prefer it. I prefer sesame paste in my dipping sauce. And this Chinese or Asian sesame paste is different from, say, tahini that you can find for Middle Eastern cooking, because the sesame is roasted in Asian sesame paste as opposed to not roasted in tahini.
Wow, that's really scientific.
Always have to have coconut milk on hand for the curries, especially Thai curry, Malaysian curry. Always like to keep some coconut milk on hand. For more Japanese style cooking, there are different types of miso paste that you can buy. So I have red miso and white miso, and I store these with a piece of parchment paper touching all of it and store it in my freezer. It doesn't freeze, so you can scoop it out really easily, but this will make it last longer if you keep it in the freezer. Just like ice cream, actually. You can keep your ice cream more fresh by putting a piece of parchment paper or wax paper and make sure it's all touching the ice cream to not allow air in to make it freezer burn. Did you know that?
Yeah, you've nagged me about it over the years.
Another thing that we have to have in an Asian kitchen is cornstarch. And it's because often we use cornstarch to thicken our sauces, which is why they're shiny, as opposed to like a gravy. When you use flour and butter, it actually makes it creamy. In Asian cooking, it's not a creamy sauce that we're looking for. Yeah, we just want our sauce to be thickened but not creamy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Always have some garlic and ginger on hand. And then some of the dried ingredients that I keep, mostly because my mom lives with us, and so she gets some of the Chinese goods in that I personally wouldn't purchase, because I can't get through a whole bag of, say, mushrooms or scallops, and scallops are super expensive too. So dried scallops can use in, I don't know, all sorts of things. And you don't need very much to add a lot of flavor. And dried shiitake mushrooms. This is a better view of them.
They don't look like much when they're dehydrated.
No, but they also are much more flavorful than if you purchase fresh shiitake mushrooms, and sometimes you want that extra flavor in whatever you're making. Another dried ingredient I like to keep at home are these dried shrimp and Chinese sausage. This is great. I don't know if you can see. This is great for fried rice, sticky rice.
Speaking of fried rice, Flo made some fantastic fried rice for lunch. with some leftover rice from yesterday. Thank you.
Yeah,
very
and
much.
so when you have this is your low protein, and it adds so much flavor to your fried rice. And I think that's it.
Okay, well, sorry, there's no the taste. Really.
All right, so that was a lot of information. I might have caused more confusion than anything. So if you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. And yeah, hopefully I can help. Until next time, thanks for watching. Yeah, so you don't get to see Dude in this episode.
Maybe the next one.
Yeah, maybe in the next one.